Hi everyone, I'm Paul Schinkel with Eurotherm by Schneider Electric. Today we wanted to do a video, really a roundtable with some of our industry experts, and want to introduce you to Peter Sherwin, Global Business Development Lead, Heat Treatment. We also have Joseph Clark, North American Business Development Manager, Heat Treatment and Digital Offerings, and Chris Mooney, North American Sales Manager. And we're going to go through a few questions that really highlight some of the industry trends and especially some of the regulations and what's happening there. So with the first question, I want to ask you guys, in June, AMS2750 and CQI9 for standards were revised. What would you highlight to a heat treater looking at these standards?
Thanks, Paul, for the question. I think I'll take this one first. So there are probably 5 different areas that we've concentrated on. The first being digital. So instruments have to be digital by June 2022 for AMS2750 and 2023 for CQI9. The other thing is with system accuracy tests and some of the complexity with doing recording instruments and controllers, there's now written into the standard in AMS to be able to do this combination of a controller and recorder. So that's going to add some efficiency. The other thing is the move just in AMS, which is not in CQI9, for recording instruments in 2022 to also have 1 decimal place. So if you are in the market for instrumentation sort of in the next few months, then seriously look at the choices that you have on offer to meet the standards going forward. At Eurotherm, we've got front of panel devices like the NanoDAC, which is a combination controller recorder, and back of panel devices like the E+ PLC. I think the other 2 areas really that we've looked at are the software revisions. And so control of software revisions so they don't actually have an impact on parameters in the set point cycle. And so we're fortunate enough to have something like the reviewer program that just deals with the data capture and reporting on its own and doesn't actually touch the parameterization of any of the control devices. And then the final one is report details. And this is for system accuracy tests and TUS. And both of those kind of have expanded, whether it's AMS or CQI9, there's expanded requirements for that reporting. So using either our automatic TUS reporting system or controlling the amount of reports and the tests that you take using EcoStruxure Manufacturing Compliance Advisor is a good solution for those changes in the standard. Chris, Joe, anything to input?
Yeah, with the push to totally digital recording by 2022, 2023, respectively, acceptance of combination control recording devices, it really appears to me that there's a significant emphasis placed on the modernization and digitization in the heat treatment environment. The standards change, but operating costs certainly haven't. And with things like limited expendable thermocouple usage, expanded TUS requirements, these things could potentially drive operating costs higher. And it'll be more important than ever, I think, to really embrace digital solutions and digital platforms to solve these compliance challenges.
Absolutely. So Eurotherm has a history with both aerospace and automotive standards going back several years. What have we recently added in our toolkit to aid a heat treater to meet the new requirements?
Yeah, Paul, take that one. Really, within the last 2 years, we've revamped our historian software called Review into a new, modern, flexible piece of software called Data Reviewer. It's based off of SQL and Elasticsearch, which is an HTML5 technology. And really, the whole idea is to install it centrally, but you get access to your data through your browser of choice. So it really becomes an agnostic platform at that point because you can access your data on a phone, tablet, PC, Mac, it doesn't matter. It's really kind of reinforcing the idea of being flexible and having that accessibility to your data. There's a lot of interesting features behind Data Reviewer, but specifically with regards to aerospace and the automotive segments, I think we really need to focus on the traceability aspect. So when we look at some of the functionality with Data Reviewer, being able to do kind of a quick review or annotation, when you put in notes following a heat treat run, that note becomes part of the permanent record. It date timestamps when that note went in, as well as who actually placed it. The NanoDAC, which is a hybrid recorder and controller, has the ability to date timestamp when a ramp soak profile is running. So in addition to having the data, seeing the process variables, we can also have messages on the chart indicating exactly when the program started, when it moved on to the next segment. And again, just helps to contribute to that story of traceability. I think probably the last part to that is we do have an audit trail capability built into Data Reviewer. And this is just giving you that additional layer of audit trail where you can capture when users log in, when users make changes to the system. And if we're going back to the concept of putting in annotations, being able to have an electronic signature, whereas maybe an operator puts in a note, but then it requires a shift supervisor, quality person, allows them to go in and verify that the information is going in is valid before it becomes part of that permanent record.
Great.
Just to add to that, I think our history has been with instrument accuracy and meeting the different standards that are out there, but also providing this data in a tamper-evident format. And I think you'll see the move from just doing that as the base and now providing software solutions on top of that for efficiency. I think that makes a difference.
Okay. So I'd love to hear some examples of, our regulatory offers really in action. Could you guys provide any of those?
Yeah, sure. Well, Eurotherm's taken the stance that compliance to industry standards, of course, must be stringently met, but there's got to be keen attention paid to both cost and efficacy. So, what good are the modern solutions born out of the Industry 4.0 philosophy if they're too expensive for a reasonable payback? Therefore, Eurotherm's invested heavily in features found in our core products, as well as software solutions to aid in these changing standards. Our 6000 series electronic data recorder has been in the industry for process record keeping for more than a decade. And we've got a special feature in there which aids in compliance. We call the AeroDAC option. The AeroDAC incorporates non-expendable thermocouple life tracking, calibration due date tracking, SAT and TUS requirements tracking. The same device that you use to record your process batch data can be used to track compliance on an individual furnace. However, modern plants require more than just a compliance on an individual furnace. Therefore, as Peter mentioned earlier, we've also expanded the scope and capabilities of our compliance to compliance tracking offers, including a full enterprise compliance management tool we call Manufacturing Compliance Advisor. It's a cloud-based platform incorporating really any standardized or regulated test you might have in a facility. But that's just the compliance side. We also understand that plant operations is just as important as to the success of a business. So our instrument SCADA software platform, which is a centralized monitoring, recipe control, and alarm management system, can be connected to really a host of different Ethernet-ready control products that you might find in a heat treatment environment, from process controls to power controls to gas flow measurement equipment. And our instrument SCADA is really a cost-effective tool to connect the plant floor, ultimately providing centralized access to and management of asset status, availability, and utilization. This platform is meant to interconnect with our compliance management tools for a really true plant-wide solution.
Wow. Peter, Joe, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would probably want to add to that is, Chris mentioned the AeroDAC, that same functionality with the tracking of the thermocouple usage and the scheduling of TUS and SAT can also be found in our E+ PLC, which is a precision-based PLC platform that encompasses a lot of the intellectual property we've designed in our products for a number of years into a single platform. And it's the platform that we use for a lot of system retrofits on our system side of the business.
I see. All right, thanks for stopping by our booth at the virtual FNA. And if you want to chat with any one of these individuals, they're here in the chat. They'd love to have a conversation with you. If you want to learn more about these offerings, you can go to eurotherm.com/FNA to learn more. Thanks. Take care.